Virginia. Alan, you're on the line.
Oh, thanks, Jason. I wanted to report on the police state checkpoint at Union Station in Washington, D.C.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all right. You come up from the the local subway station, and right just to your left, immediately there's a Obama store. It's all Obama, all their propaganda, paraphernalia, and stuff. All right. So you go up to the ticket counter, and you want to just buy all right, sell me a ticket to go to my destination. Mm-hmm. I mean, even if it's a local Maryland rail, they demand to see your ID. And you can't get on any train, without showing your ID. Now, I want to go into a little bit about what a police state checkpoint is and why it's there. You see, it has nothing to do with security. I mean, anybody can show a forged passport or anything. Mm-hmm. The point is to force people. I mean, honest people will always get a honest ID. They won't go and forge it. So it's to try to force people into their control grid. That's the entire point. They put it at inconvenient places like airports and rail stations where they got you at a counter and they demand your ID, and that's why they do it. It's to force you into their
Well,
grid.
it's also to really get you to cow down to authorities, to acclimate you to the fact that you are a slave. This is what they did in Germany. Your papers, please. Getting you used to the fact that you have to carry your papers on you. If you don't, you could go to prison or worse. And you must submit to the authorities. And it's just disgusting that they're trying to ID people now to get on train stations. It's gross. It's a miscarriage of justice. If you look into any of these train bombings, whether it be the Madrid bombings or the 7/7 bombings, they have this international intelligence organizations, the invisible empire's fingerprints all over it. I thank you for the call. Let's go to John in California. John, you're on the line.
Yeah, hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
On the subject of dumbed down America, I'd like your opinion why this nation is the most dumbed down of anyone in the world. I mean, you go to Europe or even Britain, everyone knows what's going on with the government, and they follow the news. And, I mean, you have riots in France, but we don't have riots here. Why do you suppose that is?
You know, I don't know why we don't have more riots and uprisings in this country. I kind of liken it to that soccer stadium mentality. Like you said, in Europe, you know, you'll see soccer riots. You'll see people go to government buildings. You'll see Molotov cocktails. And we haven't seen anything like that in this country since the race riots in L.A., you know, with the Rodney King decision. So I can't really answer that. I don't know why. You know, we seem to be the most docile. I mean, is it the mercury that's being cut, or I'm sorry, the high fructose corn syrup and everything that's being cut with mercury? Maybe. Is it the propaganda on television and in the movies? Maybe. Maybe it's just because we've had it too good for too long in this country and we don't know what it's like, for instance, to be part of a world war. Sure, we sent people overseas in World War I and World War II, but there were never foreign troops on our soil. At least in Europe, you know, there was action going down. And perhaps, you know, the grandparents out there are still saying, you know, they still remember Hitler. They still remember what happened in Germany. So maybe that's part of it. I don't really know. But then you look over here, and the police state isn't quite as furthered as it is, say, in the UK and London, where it's seriously a facial recognition scanning control grid with all the cameras there.
You know, over there right now, the entire government is collapsing. You know that, don't you?
Yeah, no, I've been reading it. They're demanding that they want Gordon Brown to step down, and but the thing is that they're still sticking into that left-right paradigm of the the Tory party, and you know the other parties want to save them. Go ahead.
Yeah, everybody knows they're just rotten to the core, you know.
Yeah, but at the same time, they're still going along with the green agenda. You know, they're still out there, you know, promoting the war on terror as well. I haven't seen, I didn't see them stand up and demand justice for the 7/7 victims, even after, a month ago when the people that they accused of helping the quote-unquote suicide bombers were found not guilty. You know, even after they framed some cops saying during the investigation they misappropriated funds and needed to go to prison. People have not stepped up there either. So I really just think it's the general masses just willing to accept their slavery, and it sucks. I'm not going to be a slave.
Don't know. The thing that kills me is nobody puts two and two together. Why there's no money and the military and the Pentagon are expanding logarithmically. You know what I'm saying?
No, exactly. The slaves don't have any money, but the authorities have all the money in the world to expand their military power, to expand their iron hand of justice, or injustice, if you will, because it's not going to be justice for you and me. It's going to be justice for the elite. And justice for the elite. Yeah, exactly. Justice for the elite in their mind is us taking lower paying jobs, living in squalor, bowing down and accepting them as our lords. And that's if we're able to survive the storm. I thank you for the call. We the people and everywhere on earth. You're on the air.
Yeah, wow. Your last caller there, Jameson, your and his reaction there was like totally heavy, but may I shed some light on that?
Sure.
All right. It's like we the people, you have and I have and he has a great opportunity to come up with better alternatives to what the fascists are putting down. And we know who the fascists are. We know who the fascists are. And let me have this opportunity to say that a lot of times I disagree with Alex Jones and Jason Bermas, but at least you are out there putting forth your opinions, and I'll tell you what, and that's what's sacred, because we are the people. We are the people. Some of us are less eloquent than others of us, but as long as we the people have the basic bedrock of our U.S. Constitution, our Bill of Rights, and our Magna Carta, there is no one on earth can overcome us or destroy us.
Well, I agree with you. And, those documents are really only an extension of the individual human freedoms we all have just being born on this earth. We are all born with inherent freedoms to protect ourselves, to the pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness. They don't give those to us in the Constitution and Bill of Rights. What they do is ensure that governments can't try to take those rights away from us, and they're still doing it. They've eviscerated the Constitution and Bill of Rights in this country because of terrorism, through the Patriot Acts, through the Military Commissions Act, and now through the GIVE Act, and they want to take even more away with the Cyberbullying Act. I thank you for the call. We're going to finish up with Lance and Tim on the other side. It's the Infowarrior with Jason Bermas, PrisonPlanet.tv, Infowars.com.